You've tuned in to the Top 10 Garden Show with garden expert Ken Lain. Join the conversation daily as he answers timely garden questions. Email Ken a question directly from your phone to his desktop through the web at watersgardencenter.com. That's Waters with 2 T's, gardencenter.com. Or visit face-to-face throughout the week where he can be found at Waters Garden Center in Prescott. Now welcome your host, Ken Lain.
Okay, so we've got some plants just grow faster than others, especially when there's summer. This is like when it really tends to take off. So you can really juice your plants, especially those that are privacy screens. I've got two plants that come to mind that kind of brought this topic up. One, Arizona Cypress. They've been everything has been growing so fast, and this thing's kind of not growing so much. And all of a sudden, the rain started coming. That top, which usually kind of flops over some because it grows so fast, the new growth is just soft. And there's some wind and stuff. And so all of a sudden it's standing up just erect. And now it's starting to push new growth, and the branches are coming off the sides. Another one that's very much like that. Arizona Cypress is a native plant. It's up 25 feet by probably 12 feet, something like that. It's a big, thick, like windbreak or privacy screen. It's the number one seller. It does kind of look like a juniper, but it's not. It puts on pine cones. It doesn't have the pollen of junipers. It puts on a pine cone set of berries. It's a fast grower. It's got this silver blue. It's very pretty. The other one that's like that downtown on the courthouse is you've got Atlas Cedar. Atlas Cedar it's called the statehood tree here in Prescott. So the courthouse has got two very big ones, maybe three. And so they're 100 years old, and they are just probably 60 feet tall by 20 feet wide. This is a just majestic plant, great big swooping branches. It's like a Colorado spruce on steroids. Well, I planted one down below across the dry wash in my gardens, and I wanted to screen the traffic noise from the road next door over. So I'm kind of a road in from Rosser Street, and I can still hear some in between the two houses and kind of hear some noise. And I'm going to use this thing to really cut that noise. Now, I planted a small one. I had to schlep it across a half-acre lot, downhill across the dry wash. I'm not dragging a big boy down there. I'm going to get a smaller one. Now, I wish I had planted a bigger one now that I think about it, because I wouldn't have to wait, but I'm trying to push the new growth. So I'm really juicing it. I'm giving it I'm watching the watering on it, watering a good deep soak at least once a week, giving it a lot of fertilizer, just fertilize it again with the 744 all-purpose plant food. And all of a sudden this summer, you're starting to see new growth coming out. It's got this great silvery color to it. It's really pretty. So you can get your plants to grow more just by putting the right plants in and encouraging them to grow in the right place. And the right place is just get natives. Oh my gosh. You know that an Atlas Cedar is going to do well because there's beautiful ones right downtown around the courthouse in Prescott. Arizona Cypress, it's a native. If you go through your neighborhood, you're going to see a lot of Arizona Cypress. I would say Colorado Spruce. You've got Spruce Mountain right here in the heart, kind of all those at the upper elevations of the hills that we all live in. You're going to see Colorado Spruce and white fir. Those two are the big trunks, 50, 60, 70, they kind of grow to the moon and taller. And with great big, if you don't know what they're called, people come in and go, I don't know what they're called, but it looks like a Christmas tree. That's a Colorado spruce. That's what you want. And this is a great time to put them in the ground because they're rooting like crazy and they're pushing new growth. So if you've got an immature landscape, simply by watching your watering, praying for more rain, and fertilizing, you can get more growth to come out of those plants. I mean, tremendous. Like you can double down if a neighbor next to you and you have the same landscape, same plants, yours can look much more mature simply by picking the right plants and fertilizing them right now, taking advantage of this monsoonal pattern that we have, the rains that are coming up. Even if you don't get rain, the humidity alone, the cloud cover, the shade with a little bit of food can make plants just it just supercharges them. I just deadheaded all my roses. So the hybrid teas, shrub roses, carpet roses. If it was a rose, I took all the spent flowers off and then I gave it some more fertilizer. And already you are seeing, you can almost count on it within a month. They're going to start blooming. They will keep those blooms for the next 2 months. So just by a little strategic fertilizing, primping, prepping, I just pruned back all of my yarrows. Yarrow is a native wildflower. Grows wild. Just you'll see them out in the wild. Well, they'd been in bloom for 2 months. I took my hedge shears, kind of dramatic. I just whacked off all the spent flowers, fertilized them already. I mean, because it's so warm and things are growing so fast, already you're starting to see new flower heads starting to come up. They're not in bloom yet. Give it another couple weeks. It'll go into a whole nother set of flowers. So take advantage of the season, either by planting something you want to get it going, or if you've got some immature things, you want to get them to fill out more, fertilizing those things. But don't put things on autopilot and let nature take care of things yet. It's far too early and it's too hot yet. Things are relying on you for their food and their water. Keep it going. Eventually, the rains will come, cool things down. But until then, take care of them, force them to grow even more for you. Be right back after this.
Wondering why the grass is always greener on the other side? Well, it's probably because your neighbor used the all-purpose fertilizer from Water's Garden Center. Monsoon is right around the corner, and it's the perfect time to feed your plants. Water's all-purpose fertilizer is the only organic made especially for Arizona mountain soils. Don't buy a bunch of different fertilizer for your flowers, veggies, trees, or grass. This one does it all. The plants on your side will be happier, healthier, well, greener. Safe, natural, organic. Water's Garden Center in Prescott.
The Top 10 Gardener, your source for timely garden advice, seasonally correct for the garden. Guaranteed to make a difference in your yard this season.